Call the meeting to order. I'd appreciate if everybody would put their phones on silent. And I appreciate everybody showing up. So let's get going here. Adopt the agenda. We'll need a mover and a seconder.
I move that the agenda be adopted as presented.
And Bob is going to second it. I will just slow down a little bit for you. Just kick me or something to let me know. Okay. I will call for the question. All in favor? General business? I don't think there is any, right?
Yes, there is a few things. First item is authorize expenditure for the municipal board hearing.
We'll need a mover and a seconder for that.
I'll make a motion, Mr. Chairperson.
Okay.
Whereas the municipal board has called a hearing in respect to the aggregate quarry appeal by Russell Ready Mix, file number 21B5-0001. And whereas the rural municipality of Cornwallis has deemed it crucial to obtain professional expertise in preparation of the hearing. Now, therefore, be it resolved that we hereby affirm the expenses incurred and going forward in preparation of the municipal board hearing 21B5-0001 in relation to the professional fees from the following: McCandless Tramley, Urban Systems, Burns Mendel Consult Engineering Limited.
I second the motion.
Anybody wish to speak to that motion?
Yes, Mr. Chairperson, we obviously according to the act, before we can spend money, we need a resolution, and somehow we just missed it. So unfortunately, the minute we basically got this piece of paper saying the appeal, we should have acted. What's our next steps? And we failed. I think we need to take a step back and basically do things right. It's taxpayers' money. And just because there's taxpayers in the audience, we've had 2 meetings with all 3 of these professionals. And I will say I'm really impressed with the representation that they will provide to us. So basically, just do it right and let's get the resolution voted on and move forward so the CEO can start paying bills.
Anybody else wish to speak to it? Straightforward. I will call for the question. All in favor?
The next item on the agenda then is an appointment of a council representative to the municipal board hearing.
Mr. Chairperson, can I have the CEO put the policy that was, I just seen it an hour ago, right at 6 o'clock. Can we put it up on the screen to review it before then the motion becomes a lot clearer.
Yes.
When we put the policy up.
Okay.
Let me see if I can.
Just got.
And for the audience to see as well.
Did you want to put this? I can put this down. Don. You want me to do that?
Yeah, I just gotta figure out how I can
I'll
get
put
it
this
from
down,
this and
and
then
then that
to
way-
where you want to see it.
That way nobody's straight in there. You still want to present?
Let's read the policy.
No, we're gonna turn this one on. sir.
Oh, you can?
Yeah.
Okay, I
Yeah.
didn't realize.
Yeah. Wait for Donna to turn the machine on. Hopefully.
Delay.
Yeah, no, there's a speaker on there. Something has been turned on.
Now, are we on Zoom?
Yes,
The world can see us?
I hope so.
Yeah, good, okay. This is for the audience. Mr. Chairperson, when was the first time you heard about this policy? That's a key document. I seen it at 6 o'clock. I can't get that document on my phone. I came home from work, turned on my minutes, I had a few notes. And we owe it to the people. Most of you were here last Thursday night. We promised the people, most counselors, we committed, I should say, committed to, for all the counselors to have something to add at that public hearing. I think we've all made a commitment. After that, we talked to our legal counsel and the recommendation came forward. 1 or 2 people. This is very clear. I'm embarrassed really, because we promised the people one thing and a document comes up and we need to really be careful when we start making commitments. We need to get our ducks lined up. It's an important document. I think when it was written, there was a reason for it, but it looks like we're going into this thing almost like half cooked. It's too bad. To the CEO one, it's been on file for a while.
Well, 2008,
Yeah.
and when I was in the procedure manual today, that's when I found it.
Because in all fairness, I think the Reeve and one other council was gonna say something, but there's nothing mentioned in here about the Reeve, and I just wanted the people to look at that. That's a very important document. If we would have seen that last Thursday night, we could have told the audience and the residents out there that at a minimum, actually, this needs to be revised because there's 2 counselors. So, and we will work on that later. I just wanted to have the people,
Policy and bylaws, we know that.
this needs to go on our website.
Yeah.
Every policy that's in a drawer, we need to put them on our website because it put me in a position that it's getting frustrating every time we try to make a move. And this is the most important hearing, probably, well, actually, I think it's the only hearing we've had from a magnitude of that kind. So
I think it's gonna set precedents for the future.
well,
I'm hoping.
but anyways, I know what it reads, but I wanted the people to understand that our the game plan is now change who's gonna represent. Because I want to present now, and I handed in what I had. I wasn't sure, council's gonna make a resolution here in a few minutes, who they're gonna represent. I handed in mine this morning. Because we were directed, everything flows through the CEO. And we were supposed to, I think our lawyer was gonna
Yeah.
revise it, and that's good, but folks, we need to quit saying it's a learning. Let's do our due diligence upfront. It's just too much at stake here. So just wanted to have the people look at that. Actually, we could maybe print it off.
Mr. Chairperson, I'm ready to put forward the resolution.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Whereas the municipal board has held a hearing on March 23rd, 2022, with respect to the aggregate quarry appeal by Russell Ready Mix Concrete file number 21B5-001. Now therefore be it resolved that we hereby authorize Phil Curtis and Councillor Sam Hofer to represent and speak at the municipal board hearing on behalf of the rural municipality of Contreras.
I'll second that.
Anybody wish to speak to that?
Like
You're good with that, Sam?
I'm good with that, but
Okay.
let's, I handed mine in early this morning, Mr. Chairperson.
Yep.
Sent it to the CEO as we agreed.
Yep.
Go ahead.
I go by the recommendation of the lawyer that we have Ray present ours, whatever, but at least open. Whoever else wants to make a representation can come in and put it forward.
I will. Oh, sorry.
Well, I did second it.
Sam seconded.
Okay.
But I do have, just for clarification, so because the deadline was, I'm assuming 5 o'clock this afternoon. Is it all, like, is it too late for trying to? Because we need to get together and find out who's gonna do what.
So our,
Okay.
right, so the municipal lawyer has spoken with the municipal board today, submitted their request for the adjournment. They looked favorably on the adjournment. However, it had to go back for Russell Ready Mix to comment on. They would not like to see an adjournment, which will probably lead to a preliminary hearing on the adjournment portion. I don't know when that date will be yet, but it'll have to be sometime within the near future.
Yeah, okay.
So no, because to answer your question, no, it does not hinder our ability to present.
Okay, that's good. Thanks. Good to hear.
May I ask a question?
No. I will call for the question, all in favor.
Next item on the agenda then is the gravel tender, Burns Mandel Consulting Engineers Limited.
Mr. Chirpers, can I just ask a question? Normally you put a resolution on the table. I just want to make it clear. This is basically to forward the existing gravel tender and for him to review and basically come back with a recommended, okay.
What
Yes,
his proposal would be.
Yes, now, okay.
I'm pretty sure that's the way we asked it.
Yes.
So I'm gonna make a recommend or a motion here, be it resolved that we hereby authorize Burns Mandel Consulting Engineers to review and recommend to council a municipal gravel tender for the RMF Cornwallis that will include, we want to make sure that we give him clear instructions. A legal survey certificate, that's a must in there, which is in the current one. The certified scale with proof of annual certification. I think it's in there, but I'm not sure if it's the word certified. A GPS tracking system that will confirm the material drop receiving verification. And I want that in his sites. Just, that's what I like, my motion. So
Did we not make,
Can you just give me the last word for you, Sam?
that's my, well, let's second it, and we can discuss it, because if it's not seconded,
yeah, okay.
I second the motion.
okay.
Now we get caught up here.
Yep, absolutely.
No, that's okay.
It's in discussion, so normally discussions don't get basically recorded anyways. But we've got a great opportunity here to revise a gravel tender, and we got an email for the audience this week from a contractor that encouraged to use a GPS tracking system. And basically, one comment he put in that email, which was very encouraging, it puts everybody on the same playing field. It's just basically just want to give our engineer, these are the minimum requirements I think that we should have, and you can wordsmith whichever he wants. We've had 2 meetings now, folks, with our planners, our professionals, about the hearing, okay? And I heard it loud and clear, folks. This is a system we need, because if we're going to try to impose conditions on 30 other gravel pits, let's start at home. Like the last month I've been saying, we have to get our own house in order. Let's start it, show all these gravel pit owners, we want to do what's right for the taxpayers at the end of the day. I think with the systems that are out there now, 10 years ago, there was no such system. But I think it's just prudent business. The reason I'm saying that, came into the office here 2 weeks ago, and I looked through the gravel sheets. I wanted to better understand the process. Nobody from the RM signed off on a check sheet, basically on $180,000 gravel bill. Folks, our people deserve better than that. That's their money, and I think we owe them the due diligence. And we heard it from our engineer. He all but said, basically, at the end of the day,
Finish.
at the end of the day, he agrees the survey, he agrees with the scale. He was gonna make some phone calls, get opinions from contractors. Here's our opportunity as a council to say, this is what we want him to go out and include in a gravel pit, GPS.
You get something?
No, yeah, we'll look over when contract comes forward and his documentation, whatever, then we can go in detail and discuss in detail. What he will be, might do something or not, whatever, but in the meantime, they have a motion on the table.
Mr. Chair,
Anybody else?
can I make a slight amendment, a friendly amendment to this? Can I make the motion that we need that proposal, I'm gonna be fair, in 10 days, 10 working days. And we need it because the budget is
Well, we
coming.
need it for the budget, like,
What's that?
we need it for the budget.
For the budget, yeah, we can't be dragging on. He's had it for 2 weeks now, and he should have had ample time to get back to us. We need to start putting deadlines on it. I made a mistake when I scribbled it down here, but I'll make that friendly.
Otherwise, I support the addition.
I don't have a problem with the 2 week deadline. I'm not sure if he can meet that, but we'll find out.
It did sound, he was very optimistic. though,
I
about
do
that.
have a tender that I have in my possession. I want to wait for his, and we'll compare it to mine and just to see what, how we can compare.
Would you like me to read
Please.
the resolution?
Yeah.
Be it resolved, we hereby authorize Burns Mandel Consulting Engineers Limited to review and recommend to council a municipal gravel tender for the rural municipality of Cornwallis that will include a legal survey certificate, certified scale with annual certification, and GPS tracking system that will confirm the material drop receiving verification. Be it further resolved that we give a 10-day deadline.
Anybody else wish to speak to that? Call for the question, all in favor?
The next item then is the pesticide tender, Burns Mandel Consulting Engineers Limited.
Mr. Chairperson,
Yes.
again, I'd like to make a comment. The audience, we just talked about increase in fuel prices. I'd like to pull this particular, no use having him put a tender together. I'm gonna recommend to council remove the budget to, not to even budget for chemicals and put that money towards fuel, because we've seen the rising cost and nobody can predict what they'll be. We're gonna need to really scratch and claw to find extra funding for our fuel. With a lot of vehicles going out there. We've got 2 cuts already, but I'm making a suggestion to council. If council is okay with this, to basically hold off on this until our budget meeting and basically take the $36,000 away from spray.
So table it.
I'd like to table this for now.
Yeah.
Yeah, we really need to crunch some numbers first and rethink it.
So
No action.
No action on this
Well,
one.
I would like to table it till after, whatever budget we, then we have to revisit it and then yes or no, or with deduction or whatever we're going to do.
Second your table, right?
Kurt moved to table.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'll second you'll say table it.
Anybody wish to speak to that?
So I've got table the item until after the budget.
Yeah.
Our next budget, we need to see where we are monetary wise.
Call for the question, all in favor?
The last item on the agenda then is the Public Works recruiting service agreement.
I'll make the motion. Be it resolved that we hereby affirm an award of the Public Works Supervisor Recruiting Services quotation to West Can HR as their proposal dated February 23, 2022.
Need a seconder for that? Anybody wish to speak to that?
Yes, for the audience, no secret now, our Public Works Supervisor has basically handed in his retirement date to the CAO. And I was the one that highly recommended we go to an outside source. No offense to any council member of the CAO, we're not professionally trained the way the world interviews candidates. So this company is a local company, and I trust that they'll go and hire as a public works supervisor, good candidate.
Anybody else wish to speak to that? I will call for the question, all in favor?
That's
You're
it.
good, no?
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn?
Adjourn.
Anybody wish to speak to that? I will call for the question, all in favor?
I noticed there's nobody on Zoom.